When we're conducting investigations where CCTV has been reviewed for potential identification purposes, we have to disclose everything that may be put on social media, and that could undermine a case if it's seen as potentially leading a witness into making an identification for other purposes purely than just seeing someone and being able to identify them.
So you're saying then that people shouldn't put anything on social media then?
So it's obviously a sensitive subject because people do want to highlight what's happening in their community. The question I would ask is, by putting this picture online, could it have an impact on an investigation? When someone puts a picture up or a video, at that time it may not seem to be very relevant, but later down the line it could become very pertinent to an investigation and could undermine something, which ultimately could result in a case not being seen at court and the offender getting away with it. So it could have quite a detrimental effect if people do post online.
So what the defence would say is that a witness had been influenced by what they'd seen then. Have you actually lost cases because of this thing?
It's certainly a possibility. The defence could raise that, and identification is one of the factors in investigations that the defence do look at often to try and undermine a case. Cases have been lost at court due to breaches of Code D of Pace, that is the legislation that governs identification during an investigation. So cases will have been lost before, and this is why we try and adhere to the rules of Code D of Pace as strictly as possible.
Okay, well, what if I say, well, it's all right, I mean, you can't really identify the person in this clip that I put on, it's a fight, or it's in darkness, that's all right, surely. What about that? Does that make you uncomfortable as well?
As I say, at the time, images or videos may not be very relevant, and you might look at it and think there's not much that this could add to an investigation, but that pieced with another piece of CCTV, for instance, could then make it incredibly relevant and down the line undermine an investigation. So it really must be considered that it could have an impact down the line even if we don't think it does immediately.
But a lot of people will find it difficult to understand when the police are releasing people's pictures left, right and centre. We're looking for this man. I know that, you know, the media and you use the phrase they may have information which is vital to the case, but you know there's a certain inference there that they are the guilty one. You also release video and stuff like that as well.
Typically, if we are to release videos and images, it can be for a number of different reasons, but one of them would normally be after a court case has finished, and we can release such videos. If we're releasing images of persons that we need to speak to, that will have been considered beforehand whether it is a required line of inquiry, and it will all be documented as to exactly why we're releasing that image, because again it could have an impact, and we will consider it closely when releasing images during investigations.